Before we get into the meat of the matter for the second episode on how to fight loneliness, let me make one thing very clear. All you need is the right attitude to make friends. And what do I mean by right attitude? It comes down to your nature. If your nature is good, a lot of people will be automatically attracted towards you, and you would find that a lot of people want to be with you, actually would even tell you in some of their private moments that you are a great friend to be with. And that's because if you have the right attitude and the right nature, being good natured. When I say good natured, it doesn't mean good character. It doesn't matter if you're having sex with every second girl on the street. That doesn't matter. But the fact remains, for making male friends, male bonding, what you need is the right nature. You have to be good natured. Let me assure you that if you try to convert yourself to be a good natured guy who is earnest in making friends and developing friendship in an earnest way, in an honest way, without having agendas, a lot of people would get attracted to you, and the kind of people whom you want to be friends with, and that's very important. In the first episode, we spoke about the dynamics of male bonding. In this episode, we'll talk about the modus operandi of meeting strangers and converting them into friends. The first step is always how to start a conversation, because that's the most important thing for male bonding, to start a conversation. And then how do you convert those new acquaintances after you start a conversation to a long-term friendship? As discussed earlier, very few friendships last a lifetime, and most friendships have a use-by date. It's actually easy to learn how to start a conversation with strangers and to convert them into friends. But the difficult part would be how to maintain those friendships to last longer, and also how to avoid the pitfalls of male bonding. There are a lot of variables in this process. Let's be aware of that in this process of meeting new people and making friends. And I speak from my personal experience of from the year 2008, when I went to Bangalore and met a lot of new people in the course of my work and developed those friendships which lasted till now. I tried to make all these episodes less than 10 minutes, but there is so much to talk about that it usually gets much longer. Many of my friends who have seen my last video have told me that they need a checklist of initiation measures, procedural steps, and achievement goals in making new friends. Can't help it, they are from the corporate world. So let me also try to give you those in those very terms. How to make new friends and fight loneliness. The nuances of male bonding and making new friends are very important. So try to understand those nuances. I will also try to explain that in its entirety. And if you still have questions, you know what to do. You can always write to me on the comments below. If meeting new people and starting a conversation with them is a new thing for you, how do you convert new acquaintances into friendship? Hello and welcome to this second episode on combating loneliness. My name is Parameshwaran Nair, and from Bangalore in India, this is Meridian. Let me add a rider here. Once you meet a stranger and start a conversation, you will have to convert that new acquaintance into friendship. But that will work only both ways. You alone cannot decide the success of that conversion. In most cases, guys will show a lot of enthusiasm during the first meeting and the first conversation, but fade away after that. We will even discuss all that in this episode. One of the best things about India is that we have a huge population and we get to meet varied kinds of people. One of my friends in Kuwait told me that the streets in Kuwait are so desolate that you don't get to meet anyone. We in India are so lucky. Two aspects of friendship that I forgot to add in the first episode are about male bonding and female bonding. Companionship between males are very different from that of females. Needless to say, there are clear benefits of male grouping which are exactly the opposite of courtship with girls or dating girls. When you go out on a date with a new girl, you want her to be alone and you want to spend more time together without anyone's involvement or intrusion. Male friends coming together in a group become a regular occasion for activities. You can go on a road trip on motorbike or car, visit the mall, go for shopping, groceries on weekends, or even have a drink together in the evening. It's always better to have more than two friends in a group, and when the group is bigger, you will not miss the person who has not been able to attend the get-together. Open-mindedness is a prerequisite for making new friends and maintaining old friendships. Though I'll deal with open-mindedness later, suffice to say that open-mindedness, the definition of open-mindedness, according to me, is to accept the world and the society as it is. Okay, first thing first, if you are a private person and if you have never spoken to a stranger in a public place ever in your life, it's time to change that. You should remember that you have everything to gain and nothing to lose by starting a conversation with a stranger. After all, you are out there to make friends, new friends. Most people don't start a conversation with a stranger in public place only because they've never done it before and they are held back by their own inhibitions. You have to let your guards down, and then you will find that it's so bloody easy to start a conversation, not just start a conversation, but also forego any kind of negative reaction. Some people might be quite indifferent to your conversation, so be it. It's an exciting experience, and whenever you talk to a stranger and meet with indifference, you have to tell yourself that you are never going to meet him again ever in your life, so why care about rejection? I was such a private person till my friend circle became smaller and smaller, and that was, I guess, in 2008. Then I decided to open up. Whenever I leave home in the morning for work or for some official meetings, I'm always on a lookout for conversations with anyone who is alone and looking emptily into space. This could be in the bus, in the train, or it could be even in an airplane, at the airport lounge, at the barber shop, at the dentist clinic, any such place where people are waiting because they have nothing better to do. That's the time when you should start a conversation. They are also eager to talk in such situations, especially at the airport lounge where the waiting period is quite long. Even if a person sitting next to you in a bus is peering into his phone, start a conversation with him. Most people don't have any express purpose or intention of scrolling, especially in public places, because they just want to while away time. The world around you is replete with opportunities for such interactions. In the beginning, you might be a little embarrassed to start a conversation with a stranger in a public place, but after a few unsuccessful attempts, you start mastering the art of conversation. It becomes second nature for you. Though there are so many ways of starting a conversation with a stranger, one of the best or the easiest way that I have found is to say obvious things to a stranger just to start a conversation, break the ice. For instance, if I'm standing at a bus stop and I see a guy who is also waiting there patiently for his bus, I should say something as obvious as, "Oh, it's so bloody hot today." And when you say this, you're not even looking at the person with whom you're talking to. It's not as if it's a one-to-one conversation. You're just talking aloud as if you're talking to yourself. And because the person is within earshot, he becomes part of the conversation. Then you turn to him and without showing any interest in him, continue, "Is this how it is in Bangalore every year? This is as bad as Mumbai." Now that's a loaded statement because you are actually revealing that you are not from Bangalore. Though in reality you might have been staying in Bangalore for the last 10 to 15 years. His reaction to all this drama would be, "Are you from Mumbai?" Or it could be as simple as, "Oh, the weather has got fucked up in Bangalore a long time ago." Now it's for you to continue that conversation without any long absurd pauses. Your next question to him could be unrelated to weather. It could be as simple as, "Do you know how often do buses to Majestic come? Do you know the frequency?" The answer to that will reveal if he is a local who has a lot of knowledge about local matters, or he could be just like you, as ignorant as you are. Because there are a lot of people who come from outside Bangalore city and settle down for jobs, and that could be a trigger point for conversations. The important thing about conversations is that you need the ability to keep talking without appearing to be labored. Now, the person opposite you might say that I don't know because I've been here just 2 months ago. Or he could say that, yeah, obviously this bus will come in about 2 minutes because I catch it every day. Now, both the answers are fantastic trigger points for asking a lot of things which are not personal. Never ask anything personal in your first interaction. I would rather that you should never ask personal things about anyone at any stage. So keep it quite sanitized. Talk about the tech park where you're working, the tech park where he's working, or the kind of profession you are into. How different is that from his profession? The kind of working hours you have, and these days there is a lot of controversy over working hours. That's a good point to talk about because everyone seems to be having a strong opinion on that. You can actually use such points to carry on a conversation with a stranger. Let me tell you again that all this comes with practice after you make an ass of yourself a few times. But it's worth trying because ultimately the goal should be to fight loneliness. You need to have company. In after hours, on weekends, it's best to have people around you with whom you can vibe. You can do a lot of activities. As I said earlier, go on road trips or go for movies or do all kinds of things that are interesting to the entire group of people. I have had conversations with strangers in short trips and long journeys. Many of them are sales guys and professionals working like Tata Docomo, internet dongle. I don't know if you even understand what I'm talking about. Or laptops, premium wristwatches, insurance agents, real estate broker, office personnel, and so many more. The best part of it is that most of the friends that I have today have been strangers with whom I started a conversation at the street corner or any such public place, and today we are great friends.